To ensure you hear the true unaltered audio in this video here on YouTube, be sure to disable the stable volume toggle down here in the settings on this video. This option may not be available to you, and if it's not available to you, that means I think that my audio levels throughout this video are even and at a proper level, loud enough so that YouTube doesn't have to amplify them. But just in case, I'd recommend checking that setting and turning it off so you hear the real audio coming from the microphones that I'll be recording with and letting you hear in this video. And with that, we'll move on. In this video, I wanted to let you hear two of the microphones that I've been using lately to record my videos here in my home office/studio, and they are the SE Electronics SE7 and the AKG P170. And you're actually hearing the AKG P170 right now. And all of the audio in this video is unedited in that it is not EQ'd, it is not compressed, there's no denoise or voice ISO features. This is just the microphone going into whatever recording device I'm using at that time and noting on the screen. Now, both of these mics are small diaphragm condenser mics with a cardioid polar pattern, and both of these mics need an XLR input that can provide 48 volt phantom power. So these are not USB mics. You will need an audio interface or an audio recorder to record these or get them digitized into your computer. But this category of microphones gets overlooked a lot for studio and indoor recordings and virtual meetings because most people are going to recommend a shotgun mic or often a podcast mic, but shotgun mics can be expensive and may not be the best choice for small spaces or rooms because they can pick up some sound from behind them due to their supercardioid pickup pattern. And the reflections within your room can make shotgun mics pick up some weird sounding audio at times. And broadcast style mics like the Shure SM7B or the Shure MV7X may not be the best choice for you because podcast, or rather dynamic mics, need to be close to you, and I just don't like mics right in front of me most of the time if I can avoid it. So I use either small diaphragm mics or sometimes shotgun mics here at my desk. But I've been using these small diaphragm condenser mics a lot here because they sound great, they can sound better indoors than a shotgun mic, and more importantly, these small diaphragm condenser mics can be placed further away from you and out of your video frame than something like a dynamic mic like the MV7X or Shure SM7B. And that just means you can have a virtual meeting without a microphone right in front of your face. And although I really want to have a more focused and scripted video on this category of mics, I just recorded some audio with both of these mics earlier this year through two different audio interfaces, and I just thought I'd let you hear that for now. And I either might already have another dedicated video in my library about small diaphragm condenser mics or look for it soon, but the rest of this video is a little bit impromptu so you can just hear how each of these mics sound, and almost as importantly, how they sound through cheap and more expensive or mid-budget audio interfaces, because there's a lot of, in my opinion, unwarranted debate over the quality you can or cannot get out of cheap audio interfaces. So I'll be using two different audio interfaces moving forward: the very common higher priced but rock solid Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 and a very budget friendly Behringer UM2. So let's just get into this, and I recorded all of this mostly using OBS and some of it I think through Adobe Audition. Right now you're hearing both of these mics through my Zoom F3, but using more common audio interfaces might help you because since they are common, hey, you may actually own and use one of these. But anyway, I recorded most of it in OBS and split up the audio tracks in post so you could just hear whatever microphone I wanted you to hear at that time. All right, here we go. All right, so here is a quick sound comparison between the SE Electronics SE7, which is plugged into input 1 on my Scarlett 2i2, and the AKG P170 plugged into input 2 on my Scarlett 2i2. They are both gained up to get good and pretty much matching levels here in OBS, and if I transition that, you can see my input levels right there, and we'll cut back to you looking at me now so you can see me and hear these sound examples again between the SE Electronics SE7 and the AKG P170. To me, both of them sound very, very similar. There's a decent amount of high-end response. Could be a little sibilant here and there. You may need a de-esser on these mics, but they both sound really good, and they're both fairly inexpensive. These mics are about $100 a piece. I think the AKG was about $99 or $100, and the SE7 was about $109, plus taxes, of course. But otherwise, you can get really good sound quality out of $100 mics going through any USB audio interface. And yes, I'm using the Scarlett 2i2, which is a decently expensive audio interface, but you can get just as good a sound quality out of most interfaces. And give me 1 second and I'll let you hear that on a Behringer UM2. Stand by. And now here is the AKG P170 going through the Behringer UM2 audio interface. And I'll just talk a little bit and let you hear my voice as it goes through this interface. This interface is between $25 and $50. And as you can hear, there's very little noise. And here's the noise of the same microphone going through the Scarlett 2i2. And we can listen to those back to back. And just for comparison, here is the SE Electronics SE7 going through the Behringer UM2, and you can hear the sound quality of this microphone with this interface. It's pretty much the same. The Behringer UM2, even though it is a budget interface, still sounds really good and has a pretty low noise floor. So if you've heard anything to the contrary out there on YouTube, just know that if you take care of the interface, it will take care of you, gain up appropriately, and I will be quiet for a second and let you hear the noise floor of the SE7 going through the Behringer UM2. So once again, this is the SE Electronics SE7 going through the Behringer UM2 USB audio interface. So as you can hear, you can get really good audio quality out of a $100 microphone and a $25 to $50 audio interface. And I'll just talk a little bit more and cut back and forth between these two microphones in this video edit so you can hear the difference between the SE Electronics SE7 and the AKG P170. Both really great microphones for a really small space. They are both cardioid microphones. They are not shotgun microphones. And this just goes to show you don't need a shotgun microphone in a small space like this. Often these small instrument microphones, cardioid polar pattern without an interference tube like a shotgun mic, will work really well in these small environments like my home office and studio here. So anyway, these have been sound samples of both, and I'll just be quiet one more time so you can hear the noise floor of these microphones as they go through the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. Now real quick on what you get with each microphone. The SE7 comes with the microphone, a microphone clip, and a small foam windscreen, while the AKG P170 only comes with the microphone and a mic clip. It does not come with a foam windscreen, and I'm not using the foam windscreen on the AKG P170 right now, but I am using it on the SE7, and I prefer to have windscreens on my mics even here at my desk because I have a ceiling fan, I have a little fan down there. They're not on right now, but if they were, there might be a little wind noise that would hit the diaphragms. So just note that if you get the P170, you may have to spend a little extra money to get a foam windscreen like this one that comes with the SE7. All right, future Marcus cutting in here real quick because I just talked about having a foam windscreen that I highly recommend it, and I highly recommend it because the intro of this video that I recorded on that front-facing camera, the SE Electronics mic was getting a little bit of wind noise from my ceiling fan and was unusable. Once I put the foam windscreen on, it was fine. So just be very aware of that. I just picked up a 3-pack of those foam windscreens on Amazon for like $10. That's 10 for 3. So always have them around. Definitely put them on these small diaphragm condenser mics, but once they're on, I'm not getting any wind noise from any of the fans or air conditioner here in my office. And you should really make sure that that foam windscreen covers up the side slits in the mic in addition to the front capsule. So make sure that that foam windscreen covers those side slits because a lot of the air in my office environment is actually hitting the side of the mic and not so much the front, unless some of my breath occasionally goes upwards and into the front capsule of the mic. So be forewarned, and now back to the little bit of the end of this video. All right, I hope this has helped. Good luck, have fun, happy recording.